Okay, so welcome. Really excited to talk to you about two of my favorite things in the world, animals and essential oils. And this class is going to focus on allergies in our pets and how we can help them without using the dangerous medications that we are told when we take them to the professionals that we should use. So let me go over the agenda real quick so you know what we're going to talk about. First, I'll go over my story, why I'm even here talking to you. We'll talk about the different health issues that our pets are facing right now. What are allergies and gut health and why that matters so much. We'll talk about the elimination organs of the body, and then the things that affect allergies. We'll talk about food, vaccinations, the pesticides for the pests, stress, how it affects the body, and then we'll talk about the better options with natural products, how to get started if you haven't already, and then what you can expect from me or your doTERRA person, because it's not just a drop and run. Okay, so I am a crazy dog mom. I actually love all animals. I will stop in the middle of the road or in the middle of a river, wherever I am, to help an animal in need. But my focus has been on dogs. And I just have a real passion for learning about healthy alternatives and then sharing that information with other pet parents. And just to be clear, since it says that my name is Krista Randall, I'm not Krista. Krista is much prettier than I am. My name is Sherry Willingham. And I see Penny trying to get on. I do not have any professional training, certification, background. I'm just a mom and a grandma, and I have a college degree in business, but I've always been really, really interested in natural health. And so when I found these essential oils, I was going through a 2-year struggle with MRSA, and I had abscesses all over my body. And for 2 years, the doctors gave me antibiotic after antibiotic. And finally, I said, this obviously isn't working. I'm just going to have to see if I can figure something out myself. And what I found out was that the antibiotics were suppressing my immune system. And the reason I was sick was because I had a lowered immune system. So became my goal to strengthen my immune system. And one of the ways I did that was with these incredible essential oils. At the time, I called them my pharmaceutical grade essential oils. They weren't the ones that I could buy at Sprouts or Whole Foods. And I haven't taken an antibiotic since. My focus is on keeping my immune system strong. And then I realized that I can do the same thing with my animals. And that's how the Essentially Oiled Pets group started. And I just love to share with other pet parents so that they know that there are other options. And so whether you decide to follow me in the things that I talk about or not, at least you have the information. And knowledge is power. So that's why I do these classes. That's why I like to talk to people about their animals' health.
Harry,
Yeah.
can you invite Wendy? Wendy Tills Lips.
Can I invite her?
Yeah, she can log into this Zoom.
I don't know how to invite her to the Zoom.
Okay, so yeah, sounds like a Zoom. This passcode doesn't work. So let me try again.
Yeah, the last class we had, there were some people who were never able to log in, and other people who were able to after a couple of times. But yeah, I don't know how to invite
All right,
somebody.
I'll send the link again.
Okay. Okay, so Penny and Debbie, if you have any questions or comments, Kyoko, please jump in and just unmute yourself. And then I always like to share my why I do this business is to support animal rescues. I have several that I am connected with personally. And I am a senior dog rescuer. So any senior dog rescue or animal rescue is going to be my heart. And so that's why I do this business, is so that I can help support these rescues and maybe one day have my own rescue. All right, so I spend hours every day going through the different groups that I am a member of, and talking to different people about things that they're finding and they're doing, and things that are helpful and things that aren't helpful. And I'm seeing so many health issues in regards to our pets. The ones that I see the most often are the gut issues, allergies, cancer, skin, rashes, infections, and then epilepsy and seizures is another one that I see a lot of. And that's not okay. It shouldn't be. The other thing I see in these groups is that everyone's looking for a magic bullet. You know, if there's one thing, is there one product that I can use that will make my pet better? Is there one powder? Is, you know, we just want something quick and easy. And when we're talking about all of the issues that we're dealing with, there is no one product or one thing. So that's why I'm going to talk for the next 40 minutes about all the things that we need to look at. There are different types of allergies, and all of this is applicable to humans as well as animals. Pets can have pet allergies. A dog can be allergic to cat dander, just like people. There are a lot of animals now that are allergic to dust mites, which is really hard to get away from. Pollen allergies. A lot of people right now are having seasonal allergies, and their animals are too. Mold, vaccine allergies, we talked about in another class. Drugs, sun, food, chemicals, and viruses. So the allergies go across the board, and the symptoms of allergies are also across the board. Some of them don't even seem really like they could be a symptom of allergies. Some of them do, like itchy skin and hot spots. Anal gland issues maybe wouldn't seem like an allergy thing, but it can be. Ears and feet, we know for sure, the ear infections and the red feet that our dogs chew on. And then digestive problems can be a result of allergies. Chronic diarrhea is really scary. There are allergies and then food sensitivities or intolerance. And they're two different things, and they manifest different ways that the allergies are a response to something that the animal is allergic to, and there are specific problems that relate to that. And then the food sensitivities, we have all seen that. Oh, hi, Wendy, you made it. Irritable bowel syndrome, mucus in the stool, overall inflammation of the gut. So they're both things that need to be addressed, and they're both things that are affected by the stress on the immune system that we're going to talk about. So when we have a histamine response, we're talking about some sort of antigen or something that is causing an allergic response, permeating the cell and then causing that histamine reaction. And that can happen, or that can result in a number of different things. It can result in mast cells developing, gastric acid secretion in the digestive tract. It can result in blood vessels dilating. It can close the airways. The esophagus and the lungs can be affected when there's an allergic reaction. And then it can affect the skin, and that's where the itchiness comes from. And the thing is that the issues are happening on the inside. So the traditional treatment model, if you go to the professionals, is let's deal with the outside. So here's this special shampoo and conditioner, and take your 100-pound German Shepherd that is itching and scratching and suffering, and bathe him with these special shampoo and conditioners twice a week. And each one of those products has to sit on the skin for 10 minutes. So we're trying to address it from the outside. The next thing that they're going to tell us is to add some fatty acids to their food. So I see a lot in groups, oh, just add some coconut oil to their food, add some, fish oil to their food. That is something that is helpful, but when you have the allergic response going on in the body, it's not going to solve it. It's just going to add some omega fatty acids to their body. And then the last thing that is going to be recommended is either a steroid medication, an immunosuppressant like Apoquil and Cytopoint, or the generics of those, and antihistamine. And the problem with all of these things that we just talked about is that they are addressing the symptoms. But we want to get to the source so that we can eliminate what's causing it, and then we won't have the problem. I always like to go, when there's a product that is being pushed, I like to see, what's the money behind it. And when it comes to Apoquil, the company that makes and sells it has a $996 million sales in 1/4 of a year. So that tells me that there's a lot of pressure by the stockholders to sell these products, regardless of the consequences to our animals. Okay, so you may or may not have heard that the gut is our second brain. It is 70 to 80% of the body's immune system. And going back to what I said before, my focus for myself and for my animals is to keep the immune system as strong as possible so that my body, their body can fight off things that could cause problems. So in our gut, we have something called gut flora, and that gut flora is made up of bacteria, and there are good bacteria and bad bacteria. And what we want is more good bacteria. If there's more bad bacteria, then we're going to have problems. When the gut is healthy, it processes the food and is able to extract and feed the body with vitamins, enzymes, fatty acids, and so forth. So we really want to focus on keeping the gut health good. If there are issues with the gut, which means that there are more bad bacteria than good bacteria, then we're going to have all of these different issues. And again, this is people and animals. This is something that relates to all of us. So some of them, you know, the digestive things, constipation, diarrhea, bloating, gas, food sensitivity, bad taste in your mouth. And then it gets into some other things that you may not relate to an unhealthy gut. Foggy or erratic brain, mood swings, depression, headache, skin problems, and autoimmune disease. And when we're looking at how the gut health is related to the strength or weakness of the immune system, we see that in a normal immune system, the gut health is rich and balanced. It has all different bacterial communities living in harmony, and the immune system is strong. When we have a unhealthy gut, we have poor or unbalanced bacteria, and it can lead to, like we talked about, autoimmunity, allergy, and metabolic issues. So we really want to focus on keeping the gut healthy so that the immune system's strong, so that our body can work the way it's meant to. Sheila, are you calling from the UK?
Sorry, yes, I'm in the UK. Sorry,
Hi.
thank you.
Welcome, welcome. I just
Thank
saw you were
you.
here. Okay, so we have multiple ways that our body processes things in terms of cleaning out our body. So if we have toxins go into our body, the body wants to get rid of it. And there are 4 different ways it gets rid of it. One of them is the skin, which happens to be the largest organ of the body, and is also why when there is an unbalance or when there are issues, there is a problem with the skin. So if there's ever something going on with the skin, that means under the skin in the body, there's even more inflammation than what you see on the skin. The next way that we get rid of toxins is through the lungs. That, you know, our lungs try to filter out bad stuff. And then, of course, we have the liver and kidneys that are always trying to filter stuff out of our body. So all of these organs are being affected when there's something going on that the body wants to get rid of. And with the skin, we have multiple layers. We have the epidermis, which is the basically layer of dead skin, and it regenerates, or you know, we have a new layer of epidermis every 30 days. And then there's the dermis, and that's the nutrient-rich muscle or tissue that's under the dermis. And then there's the hypodermis, and that's what holds everything together. It holds the organs in the body. It holds, you know, the bones in place. And it's more of a fatty layer. Okay, so now let's talk about the causes of the inflammation that show up as allergies. And I say allergies in quotes because some things seem like they're allergies, but they're really just the immune system saying, I need to be strengthened. So the very first thing, always, 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 is food. This 1-hour documentary is what got me started on this path that I'm on right now with pet health. And it talks about the pet food industry. It talks about the marketing, the labeling, the processing, all of the things that I didn't know. And most of the people that I talk to who haven't had this conversation are not aware of either. So if you're new to this whole natural health thing for your animal, the first thing I recommend everybody do is watch this 1-hour documentary so that you understand what I'm saying when we talk about how fresh food is so important. And this is true for people and animals. Food has the power to heal. It's really the thing that is left out in the conversations when we're talking about chronic and acute health issues. And when I talk to people, I know that it's really hard to wrap their brain around what I'm saying, because what we're talking about really is completely opposite of what we've been told for years. And all the things I'm talking about, I did for years, and I believed that these were the right things to do. And what I found out over the years is that these specific things are harming our animals, and they're causing them to develop these illnesses, these diseases, and causing them to get sick and die way too young. So Dr. Karen Becker is a holistic vet, and she points out that the veterinary field is the only one where they say that the patients should eat more processed food and less fresh food. And if you think about that, you can kind of understand why that's actually a silly thing to say. All right. There have been studies, not a lot because they're not funded by any of the big companies, but there was a study in Finland where the kibble was fed to pregnant dogs and their puppies, and they saw that it increased the puppies' chances of developing allergies. On the contrary, when they fed the mama and the puppies fresh food, there was a decreased risk of them developing allergies. And that's because of the preservatives, the toxins, the GMO, pesticides, and the carbohydrates, along with the lack of nutrition in the kibble. Some people are really averse to the idea of feeding fresh food. And in that case, I encourage them to look at the anatomy of a carnivore, which our animals are. Our dogs are carnivores that can be omnivores because they're kind of scavengers, so they can actually survive on whatever. Cats are pure carnivores and they can't survive on whatever. They have to have meat. So the anatomy of our companion animals provides for them the ability to eat fresh food and actually thrive from it. And then some people, for whatever reason, just can't feed anything but the dry food. And in that case, there are things that you can do that you can add to the kibble that can make a difference. So this is not a one size fits all, but again, having the information so that you can make an informed decision is why I do these classes. Over-vaccination is another assault on the immune system. So the food is an assault on the immune system. The over-vaccination also stresses the immune system. And that, oh good. That can lead to bad gut flora, which will result in some of these allergies that we talk about. We're not talking about anti-vax. We're not saying don't ever vax any of your animals ever. We're saying, or I'm saying, it's not we, I'm saying that the current schedule of vaccinations is causing problems with our animals. And we need to be their advocate, and we need to know what they're getting, why they're getting it, how they're getting it, and speak up for them when we're told that they need to get their annual boosters. And in fact, they already had all of those shots. And the boosters don't add to their immunity, they add to their risk of being harmed by the chemicals. One of the things that you will never find when you go for the vaccinations is the ingredients, because the companies that make the vaccines have proprietary blends, so they don't want to tell you the ingredients, and because they're proprietary, they don't have to. And that doesn't make much sense, but that's the way the pharmaceutical companies have worked it out. And so this is an idea. This is basic information in a lot of the vaccinations, and you can see aside from the virus particles, which is down here, which is what the one thing that they are supposed to need to help their body develop immunity to the virus, are all of these other products, all of these other ingredients that are not anything that you would want injected into a living creature. So keeping that in mind when you get that card that says Jenny is due for her annual boosters, I just take that little card and put it in the trash. Something that I learned that you may or may not know is that there is no dosage per animal. So if you have a little Westie, they're going to get the same amount of vaccination as if you have a Great Dane. And that just is common sense that there's going to be problems with that for the little ones especially. One of the things that I have found is that when we're talking about vaccinations and vaccination related injuries or illness is that the professionals seem to not understand that there's a connection between vaccines and illness. But in fact, there are. And so for us as pet parents, knowing what those symptoms are will help us identify if there's a problem. And they can go anywhere from upset stomach, pain, seizures, can cause behavioral changes in our animals. It can result in issues with aggression. So something to know if you have to get vaccinations for your animals. Know the risk, know the side effects. The other thing that I have found and is really very important when we're talking about supporting the health of our animal is that only healthy animals should be vaccinated, or to put it more bluntly, an animal that has any health issues should never be vaccinated. And for whatever reason, that is not something that seems to be in the traditional model of veterinary medicine, something that is followed. So if your animal is having allergies, that means that they're not healthy. And that means that if they get a vaccination, just like it says in the insert that comes with the vaccination that we aren't able to see, they're not supposed to get that. So just something that I really like to stress to make sure that you know that this is another area where it's really important that we be our animals' advocate. So when it comes to vaccination safety, and I know this class encompasses a lot of information, but all of this has to do with the immune system. And so if we don't figure out how to strengthen the immune system, we're not going to be able to help with the allergies. So we only vaccinate healthy animals. Revaccination, like I was saying, when I get that card in the mail, it should be a decision that's made by both you and the vet. And for me, I have senior rescues that have medical conditions. There's no reason that they are going to get any vaccinations. They already got full sets when they came into the shelter, and that was too much. You know, we want to make sure that we know what the possible side effects are. And then also when it comes to the puppies, they get their immunities from the mother's milk. So shots for a puppy or a kitten can actually interfere with those antibodies that they get from the mama. And then the last thing that I learned about, and I like to make sure everybody knows about, and it's becoming more common, which is fantastic. It's a titer test, and it's just a blood test, and it tests the level of immunity in the animal's blood to show that, for instance, if you're looking for, you don't want to get the rabies booster, you can get a test that shows that the animal already has the antibodies to rabies. And it can be very expensive if you just go to your regular vet. When I was looking, I think it was for my Tinkerbell, and she passed away just a couple months after we talked about it. But I said, you know, she's supposed to get a rabies vaccine, but I heard that they're starting to do titers for rabies. And my vet said, yeah, they are. And it's $250 for the test, which, you know, is really going to make it unattractive. Dr. Rob at Protect the Pets, he does a full titer on rabies, distemper, parvo, and hepatitis, which are the core vaccines, for $75. He tests the blood to show that the immunity is there for less than the cost of the vaccinations. And all you need to do is get a blood draw and mail the blood to him for the testing. So if you're not already aware of that, that's something that's really helpful for our animals and supporting their health. All right. Then there's the pesticides that are stressing our animals' immune systems. And if we look in the wild at foxes and hyenas and wolves, we don't see all of these little pests jumping off of them. And the reason we don't is because they have strong immune systems. The ones that you do see decimated by these little critters are the ones who are very sickly. So we want our animals to have robust immune systems and make them unattractive hosts to the fleas and ticks and so on. Just go over real quick how these toxins work. Is your dog either ingests it or it goes on topically. It goes into the stomach or through the skin into the bloodstream, goes all through the body, and then it settles in the skin. And the little critters have to bite your animal in order to ingest that toxin so that it can kill them. So that's a reason right there why I prefer not to give these products and to use something to repel the little critters so that my animals don't get bit in the first place. Besides the fact that these toxins have horrific, potentially horrific side effects, and they're irreversible. The FDA got so many complaints of issues that they actually issued a warning in September of 2018 saying that these products could cause this list of issues. The worst being the seizures. And unfortunately, they didn't pull the products. They just told them, they told the different manufacturers that they needed to put a label on the packaging. Many vets still don't subscribe to the idea that there can be issues from them. My own personal vet told me that he's been in business for 20, 25 years and he's never seen an issue. I think for whatever reason, they choose not to make the connection. But for my animals, I think it's important to find another way to help support their immune system and keep the little critters away from them. And then we need to remember that, you know, the products that we put on our lawn are something that our animals are even more likely to be affected by than we are, because they walk in it, they lay in it, and they don't have shoes on. So all of those poisons are absorbing into their little paw pads and go into their bloodstream, and it's just straight poison. So thinking about, you know, what we're using for pest control or weeds or whatever in our lawn is really important. Here's a list of some of the symptoms of pesticide poisoning. A lot of the same things that you can see in the vaccine injury. And again, you can imagine how much it's assaulting the immune system. And then the last thing, and I kind of laugh, not haha funny, but you know, they say that stress kills. And I know for me personally, stress is my number one issue. That I feel stress, and then I can tell that my body really reacts to it. But our animals also respond to stress, and it really can impact their immune system. So we have different organisms in our body, and some of them fight bacterial infections, some of them fight like cancer and viruses, and then some of them take care of other foreign substances. But when we are stressed, those little cells are taken away from their immune system jobs, which means that the body is vulnerable to other issues. And of course, we've all heard of cortisol. You know, that's the hormone that's released when we are stressed, and it causes all of these different problems in people and in pets. Weakened immune system, heart disease, blood pressure, blood sugar, digestive, nerve, and then anxiety, depression, and headaches. If only our pets could talk and tell us what was going on with them, but they can't. So we just have to read what their bodies are telling us. For our animals, the causes of stress can be fear. And just like with people, you know, when there's fear, the body goes into the fight or flight mode, and that's where the cortisol is released. Another thing with animals that's a big stressor for them, we all know, is separation. You know, just being away from their normal routine, their normal environment, their people, can cause a lot of stress. And then the last thing with our animals is age. As they age, they can start to have different things going on, and then the other thing that can cause stress in them are the toxins. Their bodies respond to those. And so now, how do we treat the allergies holistically and not the way that the traditional medicine subscribes. So the number one thing, and this is assuming that we are feeding a species appropriate diet, reducing the toxins in the food as much as possible, limiting the vaccinations, and limiting the toxins from the pest, flea and tick products, and trying to keep the stress level down. The most important thing is the gut. And if there's an issue going on with the gut, the most important thing is to get that gut flora back to healthy. And how we do that is with a probiotic and a prebiotic. Probiotic creates new gut bacteria, and the prebiotic feeds the good bacteria that are already there. So we want them to multiply, we want to add more, and then the good ones will take over the bad ones, and then it'll be a proper balance. The other thing that we talk about as being very important, and this is true with people, as we age, the natural digestive enzymes that we had as a younger person start to decrease. But the digestive enzymes help with processing the food, helps with absorbing the nutrients. Again, it strengthens the immune system. It helps with all kinds of different potential issues in the body. It's good for weight loss. So if you have a pup that is overweight, you want to help them lose weight, digestive enzyme is a good thing to make sure that they have. And then the allergic response. So this is our allergy blend: lemon, lavender, and peppermint. We use this for people, we use this for pets. You can diffuse it, you can add it to the food, you can, for people, I like to just put it in a shot glass of water and drink it. This is the antihistamine. This is going to stop the histamine response. If there's itching going on, the combination of lemon, lavender, and peppermint is going to stop the histamine response. But we can't just give them the lemon, lavender, and peppermint and expect everything to be better. This is just, again, there's not a magic bullet. This is one of the steps that we use that can help our animal to stop itching. Now, I think most of you are already using essential oils, so this might be a little bit of a repeat for you, but this is for the people who are new to oils. 3 really cool things about essential oils. The first one is that they're safe. They are extracts from plants. They are the leaves, the bark, the roots, and they are 50 to 70% more powerful than herbs. So for instance, peppermint, you could take 1 drop of peppermint essential oil, and that would be the equivalent, if you had an upset stomach, of drinking 25 cups of peppermint tea. So it would act a lot quicker because it would take a long time to drink 25 cups of peppermint tea. They are effective. They are natural. The body doesn't try to get rid of them or have side effects because they're natural. They don't have side effects, they have side benefits, and they are able to permeate the cells. So if you go to the doctor and you hear that you just need to go home and let it run its course because they don't have anything to give you, the essential oils can support the body in helping it get better. And then the last thing is that they are affordable, because you're not going to the vet, you're not going to the doctor, you're not taking time off of work or paying the copay. And thing I love about the essential oils is that each bottle has multiple uses. So for instance, lavender is all things calming. It's for the mind, it's calming. For skin, it's, for instance, you're out in the sun too long, you get a sunburn. Spraying a dilution of lavender on your skin is going to help calm the sunburn. So they're affordable, and the dosage is 1 drop, or with animals, it's even less than 1 drop. And there's 3 ways that we use the essential oils: either aromatically, which is in a diffuser, or simply opening a bottle and smelling it. We use them topically, which for our animals, if we're dealing with itching, we can apply a calming dilution of essential oil to that area that is itching. And then internally, the essential oils that doTERRA makes have supplement facts on them, because those essential oils can be used internally. And that is something that is not the case with any of the other essential oils that you're going to find on the market. So when you're using them with pets, there's a couple things that that we like to say, and this isn't the one I thought it was. Let's see. Okay, so dilution. When we're using them with pets, it's really important to dilute, because they're smaller than people and their bodies process things differently. So dilution is really important. I stress that over and over. The smaller the animal, the higher the dilution. The younger the animal, if we have puppies or kittens or baby goats, we're going to dilute it more than if it's an adult of that animal. I just made a flea spray for a 4-month-old, I think 8-pound puppy. And the flea spray was 5 drops of essential oils total. It's effective, but for that small and young of an animal, that's how high we're going to dilute it. When we're applying essential oils topically to our animals, there are several ways that you can do it. You can take the dilution and put it on your hand and then rub it along their spine from the tail to the back of their neck. The hair acts like a wick, or the fur acts like a wick, and the essential oil will go through the fur into the skin and then into the body and the bloodstream. So even if your pet has a thick furry coat, it's still going to work. You can do it with a massage. You can do reflexology on the paws. Ear tipping, just some of the essential oils on your hands, and then with my German Shepherd with her little ears that stand up, I can just put it on the tips of her ears, put it directly on the area of interest. Whenever we have tummy issues, I do the Digestive dilution, and I just rub it on the umbilical area right over the stomach. put it in your pet's shampoo. You can do a hot or a cold compress. Kyoko's dog Chloe got a bug bite or something today, and she took a washcloth and dipped it in water that had a drop of lavender in it, put that compress over Chloe's eye area where the bug bite was, and helped reduce the inflammation from that bug bite. Spray bottles are great because that way you can just spray it. You don't have to worry about the roller bottle. And if we do use a roller bottle, I like to roll it on my finger and then apply it so that the roller bottle stays clean. And then you can spray some on their brush before grooming, which I always forget to do, but that's a great way to do it. This just shows how the dilution helps. It is longer lasting because the essential oils are so volatile. They can evaporate quickly. So if you use a carrier oil, it will help spread it on the skin and help it to absorb into the skin down to the dermis and the hypodermis more slowly. And that's true for people too. There are so many different ways that people can get started. And honestly, there's no one starter kit because everybody's situation is different. But I always like to put together something just so you have an idea of what kinds of options there are. And so for a small kit, it would be the PB Assist, which is the probiotic, prebiotic, along with the Terrazyme digestive enzyme, and then the small introductory kit that has the lemon, lavender, and peppermint. Those are the 5 milliliter bottles. And then for the larger kit, it's the same probiotic and digestive enzyme, but the 3 bottles of essential oils are the 15 milliliter. And then we like to offer free gifts because everybody likes free stuff. What you can expect from me and anyone on my team are private consultations. You know, we love your pets. They become second family to us. So we are here for you to help figure out what we can do to help them feel better. We like to send goodies, and we have education is the most important thing. We don't want anybody to get essential oils and not use them. So we have access to some tremendous Facebook groups that have education and ongoing classes. And then we find when people start to use the essential oils that there are 3 types of people. There are the people who use them and love them and incorporate them into their lives and are happy using the products. And then we have people who love to share with their friends. Like when you go to a restaurant that you think is fantastic and you have to tell everybody to go. The same kind of thing with the essential oils. And by sharing them, you can actually get your products paid for, which is what some of my friends are doing. And then the last thing is you can actually earn an income by doing what I do and what my teammates do. So if the sharing or building are of interest to you, we have a great support group for that. You can let me know. So in closing, I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your day to join me and be open to learning something new for yourself and for your pets. I always encourage people to do your research. There's so much information out there, and knowledge is power. There are so many groups out there that have experience with experiences that we never want to have and we want to learn from, or experience-based research, which is more often than not the type of research that is available to us when we're looking at the natural solutions. Try to find a holistic practitioner, somebody that you can work with that isn't going to try and only offer the traditional methods of medicine. And then go with your gut. Nobody knows your pets better than you do. So listen to that, that voice. And then, of course, enjoy every day with your fur babies. They make life better, and they're always happy. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. If I can find it.